there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I'm excited to be here today for our live Q&A. And as I promised you, you will bring the questions and I'll bring the answers. And this is your opportunity to ask me anything. And I mean, there's nothing off the table. So I'm Mia Redrick. I am the mom, strategist, business, and life coach. And I started my company 17 years ago. For those of you who are just meeting me, it's nice to virtually meet you. I made the simple decision 17 years ago to go to work as myself. And I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer. And I wanted to figure out how could I package my skills, my soft skills in motherhood into my very own business. And I didn't know how I could take my knowledge, my background, my experience, and go to work as myself doing what I have been doing, what I had been doing just naturally in my life. Now, this is going to be for those of you, hey, Kathy, this is going to be for those of you who have ever asked this question, like, how can I take my knowledge and package what I'm doing that into my own business as a service or a product? And I did exactly that. I had that thought, those questions 17 years ago. And the very first thing I did, I started looking for someone to help me. And I bumped into an amazing coach, and her model changed my life. And it was the first time for me I had ever seen someone doing what I wanted to do. Now, can you relate to that? Like, maybe you're like me, right? And you are online right now and you see people who you've been following and you're like, you're doing what I want to do. That was me. And I went to a live event, and that event changed my life. And I knew that what I wanted to do was called coaching. I had never thought about being a coach. I had never thought of it. And fast forward, as a result of building an amazing coaching practice. Hey, Jeanette, as a result of being running an amazing coaching practice, I've been able to show up for my family in incredible ways. And that were really important to me. And so today is a live Q&A, and I'm gonna answer the questions that you have for me on the floor today. And there is nothing off the table. And my only goal, as a result of spending quality time with you, is to support you in taking highly actionable steps to change your life. Because I know that nothing will change, okay, because of hoping and wishing. It doesn't. It changes because of the choices that we make. Now, my commitment to you is that I will stay on here as long as you have questions for me, okay? And but if there aren't any questions, I'll sign off, okay? And I'll tell you this, that when I decided to start my business, there were no guarantees. There was no assurance that, you know, what I wanted to do was going to work. But what I did have assurance of was my own commitment. And we'll talk a great deal about that today, Katrina. It was my own personal commitment. I knew I wasn't going to quit on myself. I knew that I couldn't work 40 plus years for anyone and retire that way. I knew I needed more than a corner office. I needed more than a title. I needed my freedom. Okay. And maybe if you're watching me, you're like, that's what I need, right? Like, I was like, I need my freedom. I need to be able to own my life. When I have my kids, I want to be able to do with them what I want to do. And I don't want to have to ask permission to live my life. I wanted freedom. And I also wanted to have financial security so that money would no longer be a concern. Okay. So that where I sent my kids to school would not be a concern. And so my husband and I have invested over $1 million plus educating our kids just in elementary, middle, and high school, because we wanted to give them a world-class education, right? And I knew that running a great business and company the right way would allow me to do that. I knew that if I could run this business properly, I could get myself free. But I wanted to not only get free, hear me on this, I wanted to figure out how to stay free. If you guys, anybody out there interested in not only getting yourself free, becoming a full-time entrepreneur, but knowing that based on what you built, that the system was so solid that you used that you could stay free. That was also important to me. because I didn't want to come home 1 year and then have to go back to work the next year. And I didn't want to build my business based on any of these crazy models, hustle and grinding, all the entire business. I wanted to figure out how could I build a business the right way the first time. And you are in luck because I am fired up to talk about exactly those things today. Now, the way that the live Q&A is going to work, you guys are going to write questions. I'm going to open the floor shortly, and you'll be able to write whatever questions you have for me, and I'll answer them. And I will answer them. My goal here, let me tell you, why am I doing this? I'm telling you because a lot of you are here in the community. You've been watching me for years on my Facebook pages, on my Periscope pages, and maybe you've had a question that you wanted me to answer for you that based on what I was talking about, there wasn't an opportunity for me to do that. So I wanted to give you the opportunity today to get your questions answered. And also, I'm going to share with each and every one of you, I'll make a recommendation in terms of what I think I have in my arsenal that could be of great support to you to solve whatever it is that you're asking me about. Deal. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. And so I want to just, put everybody at ease. And I want you to know that I'm not leaving. I'm not rushing through this live tonight. Okay. I'm going to answer the questions that are here. And so you need to pull up a chair. You need to write down something really thoughtful that you've always wanted to ask me. Maybe it could be something about your skill, your background, and how might I be able to support you, right? In terms of being able to realize what you want to do. Because maybe that's the thing that's missing, right? You're like, I like her, but I don't know if she can help me. All right. Now's your chance to get those questions answered. And I'll be here 100% to answer those questions. And so I was sharing with those of you who've just joined me. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm a business coach, consultant, and I started my company a long time ago, over a decade. I've been a full-time entrepreneur, and my husband also a full-time entrepreneur. And it's something that I want to pass forward to my children, but it's also something that I want to pass forward to the people I care about, because I feel like as a mom, it's allowed me to show up in ways that I desired. I think I got things out of this deal that I didn't even know, right? Like I wanted to be free for sure, but I didn't realize the impact that I would put, that blueprint that I would paint for my kids of like my kids see a job, they see working for someone else as something that maybe you do to fine tune something, but you definitely would start your own company. They start in such a different way than I did years ago, just because of what they've seen, and knowing that you do not have to trade time for income, and teaching that to our kids is such a tremendous gift, because I learned that later, right, in my life, right, after 30, and for them to be so young and that's their understanding, I think is a great gift. I would say that, and then we'll start writing down your questions. You guys can start posting them here. It's a live Q&A. I would say that to me, one of the greatest blessings of running this business happened for us specifically when they were tested, put it that way, when my husband developed kidney disease over 10 years ago, and he went on dialysis. And I don't know what you guys know about dialysis, but it's a very aggressive therapy. It was 3 days a week, 3 hours each time. And the kids were really young at the time. My oldest was 11, my daughter was 9, my youngest was 6. And I had to show up differently in my family, right? I had to stand in the gap in different ways. And one of the things that I never had to compromise on, or my husband didn't have to compromise on, was his health during that moment. We could hire a private physician for him for several years so that he could get an elevated level of care. Right. So we hired a boutique doctor for him that, in essence, coordinated all of his cares. I believe it's the reason why when my husband got a kidney transplant, he did amazingly well and has done super today, is because we could afford the care he needed. And I think also what happened was we were also able to give him the time to heal like he needed to. So he didn't have to run off from one thing to the next thing to generate income, that he could rest, right? Because we had a lifestyle that could accommodate that. Because we were financially secure, we didn't have to compromise the things that mattered most. Healing sometimes has more to do with than just therapy. Sometimes the therapy is your life, right? Like your life. And I'm bringing this forward because I think that for those of you who don't know the story, or for those of you who sometimes we think about running a business and we only hear people talk about money, money, money from the perspective of just so money centered. But I want you to hear my heart on this. I know firsthand the importance of building a business properly, because when I was tested, we were tested that we had different choices available to us because we had built a business properly. And certainly running a business gives you the opportunity to travel the world. Okay, it gives you the opportunity to solve problems at a higher level. You have better choices. But when I go back and I think about building this business, all being based on me having the idea that what I knew had value, this is what I want you to understand today. And I'm sharing my story at the opening just so that if you don't know me, you're thinking bigger right here, because this is not just about you using your talents to just make money. This is about you changing what next year looks like completely. And if you're this person, and hey there, darling, Dr. Hightower, how are you, darling? This is not just about you making money, okay? This is about you shifting how you live, okay, from this moment forward, because I don't just focus on just making money. I don't even relate to money in that way. Money is a tool that allows me to have an elevated lifestyle, that allows me to show up with my family differently, that allows me to date my husband in the middle of the day, wink, right? That allows me to do what I love and be paid properly compensated for what I know how to do. And that's what I transfer to my clients. I show them the exact systems that I use. No magic tricks, not, hustle and grind, none of that. I don't do any of that. I teach them high-level strategies based on leverage. And I believe this, that every single person here that's watching right now, that you can do exactly what I do if you know what I know, okay? Right? That if you know what I know, you can do what I do. Yes, that's right, Dr. Hightower. Midday dates, right there, life, right? Love it. So today I'm going to share a lot of what I know with you, and I hope that you guys take full advantage. You should start writing down your questions. Today's a live Q&A. You can post your questions, start posting them here, and I'll answer them as they're coming in. All right, and then I'll make a recommendation based on what your question is. If I have a tool or a resource that I think would be helpful for you, I'm going to share with you what that is, because that's a question we get a lot, that my team member, Javier, tries to answer all the time. Like, what do you think Mia will think I should do? Or what do you have that I should do? And I'm going to recommend specifically based on what you're asking me, what that recommendation looks like. I'll be here as long as you are here with great questions. I'll answer them all. All right, so start writing your questions here, and I'll begin to answer them. And in the meantime, until the questions come, I'm going to just share parts of my story with you that really not in any way, just so that if you're just meeting me, you can get to know me better. All right. I'll tell you that I think one of the greatest gifts of running my company has been the women, the kind of clients that I work with. I work with women who call themselves giants. And I have to tell you that I only have an appetite to work with giants. And those are people who are smart, who are sharp, who believe in self-investment. They proactively seek the solutions they desire. They are not people who see what is and they do not move forward. Because let's be clear about this. If we're talking about making a life change, we're talking about changing your life forever, you have to show up differently. And the people who do change their lives, right? They are, they're highly actionable. They're implementers, right? They're people who clap real loud for other people when they're achieving great and amazing success. To me, that's what a giant is. So those are the kind of women that I work with. And it is my honor, it literally is, to transfer what I know how to do exceptionally well to them. And so, sure, I could tell you as a coach or a consultant, or, I've done nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. I've been signed to Emmy nominated national syndicated TV shows multiple times. I've done corporate deals with Fortune 100 and 500 brands. That's great. That's my story, right? I've made multi-millions as a coach, doing what I love to do. Okay, great. That's my story. And that is important for you to know, just in the context of, I only teach what I know how to do. But the other part to me that's the most important is my ability, my exceptional ability, I have to say, to transfer what I know how to do, what I've done for myself, to my clients. And one of the things that I back up, like without question, not just me saying it, my client sharing how, based on my systems, based on my training, based on my coaching, they have been able to create the exact same results that I have. And I'm excited about that. And that to me is really important. It's just more important to me is helping more people become six-figure plus a year earners, or helping more people have six-figure plus months. I actually had a client just a couple of weeks ago. They had a six-figure plus week, right? And another client who had a $79,000 2 week. I just love it, right? Like, I mean, I that is to me the mark of a great coach. It's not what I'm doing, okay? All right, but it's like leading from the front and transferring what you know to other people. There are some questions. I'm super excited. I can't wait to answer your questions.